Before I tell you about Tuteliq, let me tell you about who I am. I'm a mum of 5, that's the first thing. Everything else, my PhD, the research I do, the 2 decades of studying how predators operate, that all comes second. Because when you have 5 kids navigating the internet, this all stops being academic and it becomes deeply personal. As a criminologist, I've spent my career studying manipulation, how it starts, how it escalates, and critically, how it hides in plain sight. I've sat with the data on grooming, coercive control, online exploitation, and I can tell you that the patterns are consistent, they're learnable and detectable, and that's what led me here. Across the world, major debates right now about banning under 16-year-olds from social media. This conversation matters enormously, and I think the instinct behind such policies is right, even if the approach is wrong. Australia has now banned children under the age of 16 from social media, and I totally understand why. Every parent understands why. We're scared, the harm is real, and the data is damning. 302 million children are exploited online every year, so of course governments want to act. But here's what the evidence tells us. When you ban children from visible, regulated platforms, you don't make them safer, you simply displace them. They move into darker corners of the internet, onto Discord servers, private messaging apps, gaming platforms, unregulated forums, spaces with no moderation, no oversight, and no accountability. We've effectively pushed the most vulnerable users away from the places we can monitor into places that we cannot. A ban doesn't address the criminal threat, it relocates it, and then that threat follows. So what's the alternative then? Our position is this. The digital world is where children live. We've created these digital natives that we can't roll back on now. It's where they learn, socialize, develop identity, and build the skills they need as adults. Digital literacy isn't optional for the next generation. It's foundational to everything that they'll do as adults. The answer isn't to ban them or wall them out. The answer is to make those spaces genuinely safe for our young people. We work with technology, not against it. Our mission isn't to constrain the digital world, it's to de-risk it, to give every platform the capability to detect harm before it escalates, to comply with the regulations that are now being enforced globally, and to do all of that without surveilling users or storing their data. What we've built is a behavioural detection API, not a keyword filter. Those are useless against grooming anyway, where every single message can look completely innocent. We analyse how conversations evolve over time, trust building, the isolation, the secrecy, the power shift, the pattern that no single message reveals, but that is unmistakable when you look at the sequence. We catch it in week 2 or 3, before escalation, before harm, because that's the point, isn't it? We don't want to respond to harm, we want to prevent it. So let me explain what that actually means in practice. Right now, if you're a gaming platform, a sports app, a tutoring service, an educational tool, anything with a chat function and users under the age of 18, then you're legally exposed. The EU Digital Services Act is enforced. The UK Online Safety Act is active, and KOSA has passed in the US. These aren't future threats, they are current obligations. And the fines are not symbolic. We're talking up to 6% of global annual revenue under DSA and up to 10% under the UK Act. Most platforms, though, have no tooling whatsoever. They have keyword filters, which are essentially useless, or they have nothing at all. Building proper detection from scratch for even one harm category takes a team, a year of machine learning engineering. There are 9 categories platforms must cover under KOSA alone, across text, voice, images, and video. The cost of doing this in-house is north of 30 million Swedish krona, and most platforms will never do it. That's the gap that we fill. We're a behavioural detection API, 1 integration, 3 lines of code, and you go from 0 coverage to full compliance in days. But what I want to be clear about, what makes us genuinely different, because this is where my criminology background matters. Every other solution in the market classifies individual messages. They look at a single piece of content and ask, is this harmful? And most grooming conversations will pass that test completely, because the predator isn't stupid. Each message looks fine in isolation. The threat is never in a single message. The threat is in the pattern, the escalation, the way a conversation shifts from friendly to exclusive to secretive, the emotional dependency that gets constructed over time. These are the signatures of grooming, of coercive control, of radicalization, and they are consistent across offenders, across languages, and across cultures. So that's what we built Tuteliq to detect, not words, behavior. We analyze how conversations evolve, the trajectory, power dynamics, and the emotional tenor over time. We detect grooming, bullying, coercive control, fraud, romance scams, radicalization, and 16 other threat categories across 27 languages, across text, voice, image and video, all in under 400 milliseconds. And critically, we do this with zero data retention. Content is processed and discarded, and moderators never see raw conversations. We're GDPR compliant by architecture, not just by policy, because protecting children's safety can't come at the cost of their privacy. We also go beyond detection. When a risk is identified, we don't just issue a score and walk away. We generate action plans for the child, for the parent, for the moderator, structured incident reports, emotional trend analysis, because the goal isn't to flag harm after the fact. The goal is to intervene early with the right information in the hands of the right people. We've done all of this because we believe that compliance and safety don't have to be in tension with building great digital products. You can have both. Platforms that are engaging, open and connected, and that actively protect their most vulnerable users. That's what de-risking the digital world looks like. Not banning children from it, but equipping every platform, regardless of size, regardless of engineering resource, with the tools to keep them safe inside it. Every child deserves to just be a child, happy, curious, connected and safe. That's not a marketing line. For me as a mum, it's the whole reason this work exists.